Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is your favorite show, Daily Calls, a show that addresses all your stock-specific queries. So in case you're still in doubts about some of the stocks in your portfolio, looking at the current correction and volatility in the markets, you're unable to decide what should be your strategy on those stocks, well, this is where you can get all your queries solved with top market experts joining in on the show to help you out with the correct strategies on your stocks. So the WhatsApp number is flashing on your screens. When you send in questions here, you don't forget to send in your name, your location and your contact details. We can also give you an opportunity to speak live to our top guests and then take a custom made advice from here from them as well. Alternatively, you can also use our YouTube platform where you're watching our show live on. Use the comment section there to send us your questions and I'll be happy to pick up some of those questions to actually address it to our top guests. Let's now welcome our guest on the show who will be answering all your questions today. Manish Chaudhary, the head of research at Stockbox, is now with us. Hi Manish, warm welcome, good to have you. First up, before we take in all the questions, what's the sense that you're getting in the markets? 22,500 and thereabouts are we at. We've slipped considerably below 22,800 as well. That was being seen as a level probably from which the markets could have made a U-turn. That hasn't happened. What's the sense that you're getting in the markets now?
I think yes, you have correctly summed it up that 22,800 was an important level for markets, and we preached it yesterday. And today also we are not able to sustain at higher levels. My sense is that overall, in the large cap space, the valuation looks comfortable, and my sense is that I'm not pretty sure about the next 2-3% downside move in the Nifty. But yes, if someone is willing to stay in the market for at least 6 months also, I think from here on, I think large caps look constructive. Mid and small cap space, I think still I'm not very confident that the pain is over. So I think we need some kind of earnings momentum in the quarterly earnings, unless and until we are confident that yes, we have reached the bottom in the mid and small cap space. So overall, in the broader markets, I think large caps look more favorable, and I do not see much downside in the markets from these levels, especially on the Nifty index.
Okay. We already have a lot of questions that are coming in. We'll keep coming back to you for the key, advices that you'd like to share with all our viewers. But we'll also take sub questions from our viewers then today. Our first question is from one of our viewers on our YouTube platform. That's Kamlesh Narkere. He says, "Hi Sakshi, I want to know on Federal Bank. I have 100 shares at the rate of 101. Average करना चाहिए क्या और कितने levels पर average करें?" Okay. So that's from the banking space. Federal Bank. Any suggestion here?
I think as far as Federal Bank is concerned, in the mid cap space, in the private banking mid cap space, I think this is one of the bank which is the most conservative in terms of lending. The kind of stress we are seeing in the unsecured space, be it MFI, be it credit cards, I think Federal Bank looks good in terms of the stress which we are currently seeing. Last Friday, there was a analyst meeting with the new MD and CEO, Mr. KVS Manian, who has come from the Kotak Bank. He has strategized that going forward in the next 2 to 3 years, he would work efficiently on improving the NIMs as well as the ROAs. So I think from a longer term perspective, at least from a 1 to 2 year perspective, I think Federal Bank looks good in the overall mid cap private banking space.
Okay, I hope this has answered your question, Kamlesh. We next have another question coming in from Avnish Chaudhary. He says, "Hi Sakshi, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you also, Avnish. Good to be having you here on the show." So his question is, "मुझे Acme Solar, PNB Housing और NTPC Green में निवेश करना है. Fresh entry के लिए आप क्या यहाँ पर level suggest कर सकते हैं?" Okay, Acme Solar and NTPC Green again from the renewable energy space and PNB Housing from the housing finance space. What would you want to suggest here? Any key levels that you'd like to advise? Which stock do you actually find promising between the three? Acme Solar, PNB Housing or NTPC Green?
I think amongst the three, my top preference would be PNB housing. I
Okay.
think with the RBI starting the rate cut cycle, and we are hoping that we would get another 25 basis point rate cut in the April meeting. So
Okay.
I feel the lenders which are into the housing space, like PNB housing, would benefit from that move. Also, most of the book, especially for the housing lenders, is secured book. So I do not see much stress coming into the overall housing book going forward, even if we see some stress in the unsecured space of the NBFCs. So I
Okay.
think PNB space looks good from a 1 to 2 year perspective. As far as NTPC Green and Acme Solar are concerned, my sense is that most of the positives are already priced in.
Hmm.
The kind of valuation they are trading at, despite the correction, I think from here on, execution would be the key factor to look out for. Any misses on that front would again have a strong reaction on the downside on these stocks. So amongst the three, PNB housing looks.
Any targets for PNB housing that you'd like to share here, Manish?
I think from a 1 year perspective, I feel a 20-25% kind of upside on a fundamental basis looks good to me.
श्योर सो अवनीश जी जो तीन स्टॉक्स आपने पूछे एक्मे सोलर एनटीपीसी ग्रीन और पीएनबी हाउसिंग इनमें से पीएनबी हाउसिंग पर एक अपसाइड देखने को मिल सकता है 20 से 25% के हिसाब से अगले एक साल में ऐसा मानना है मनीष जी का और यहाँ पर डेफिनेटली उनको लगता है फ्रेश एंट्री बेहतर रहेगी इन तीनों स्टॉक्स में से नेक्स्ट वील टेक अनदर क्वेश्चन दिस इज फ्रॉम कृष्णार्जुन राव ही इज फ्रॉम बहरामपुर इन ओडिशा Krishna Arjun Rao ji, namaskar. Says, good afternoon, Sakshi ma'am. I'm holding Surya Uday Small Finance Bank at the rate of 189. The stock has sharply corrected. I want to know if there is any respite from this fall for the stock, and my view is short to medium term. Okay. Actually, Mr. Krishnarjun Rao has been waiting for any kind of a revival, but that is not seen on the stock yet. Suryaday Small Finance Bank. क्या यहाँ से निकल जाए मनीष जी या फिर आपको लगता है एक रिवर्सल का कुछ साइन आ सकता है क्या करना चाहिए 118 पे आ चुका है 190 के आसपास की खरीद है तो काफ़ी लंबे अरसे से वेट कर रहे हैं और मीडियम टर्म का व्यू है तो शॉर्ट टू मीडियम टर्म में रिवर्सल के कितने चांसेस हैं अगर नहीं तो फिर क्या स्ट्रैटेजी अपनानी चाहिए
I think the viewer has entered close to the 52-week highs, which is about, I think, 220 kind of a thing. The overall MFI space in the last 3 quarters has seen a lot of pain, especially with the NPAs rising. We have seen most of the SFBs increasing their provisions, and as a result, the direct impact was on the earnings front as well. Also, most of the SFBs have slowed down their disbursements, especially due to the kind of stress being seen in the MFI segment. My sense is that at least for the next 1 to 2 quarters, I do not see this pain going away, and we could also see an increase in provisioning further, which would impact their earnings. So my advice would be to move out of Suryoday Small Finance, book a loss, and put that money into the larger private banking space, wherein the valuations are very comfortable. My top pick over there would be Axis Bank first, and then ICICI Bank.
Okay. I hope this has also helped you understand how to go about your choices in the space. Let's actually look at another question. This is from Shravan from Mumbai. He says, I'm holding Tech Mahindra 50 shares at the rate of 1620 and his question is, should I hold this stock for about 6 to 8 months view? And can this stock actually give me a good profit from the current levels? Okay, we'll get you your answer. Again, what we've seen of late is that the IT sector has again come under severe pressure, Manish ji. You know, a few months ago, this used to be one of the pet go-to sectors for, hopes of revival coming in on this space. But of course, earnings have actually come under pressure, especially for the large cap companies. That was an added on problem. Then, of course, the US policy changes that are taking place has further added to some uncertainties there. On Tech Mahindra particularly, what is your suggestion? Bought at 1620, so not too far from the current levels, but do you see 6 to 8 months view is positive or no?
I think yes, the recent correction in the IT space is largely due to the uncertainty around the trade tariffs in the US, especially. As far as earnings are concerned, I think most of the large cap companies posted decent earnings. Their deal book was very strong. They saw some revival in the margins as well. And from the second quarter to the third quarter, the spending was not just limited to the BFSI space. It was more an all-rounded kind of a spending, be it discretionary, be it retail, be it telecom. So I think there were some green shoots of revival in the overall commentary and the third quarter earnings. So from a 6 to 8 months perspective, I think we should continue holding Tech Mahindra. I think from here on, the earnings trajectory is going to improve, and with the kind of deal book with all these large players have, execution would also come in, and we would see an earnings growth. So I think Tech Mahindra, from a 6 to 8 months perspective, it's a hold for me.
Okay, fair point. Let's take another one. This question is from one of our viewers, Samvit Nageshwar, on our YouTube platform. Says, good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to you also, Samvit. He says, is it advisable to make a fresh entry in Narayana Hrudalaya and Natco Pharma for the long term? Okay, pharma and healthcare spaces is on his mind. One is Natco Pharma. Again, this was a stock which was first turning out to be a key favorite among traders and investors a few months ago. And Narayana Hrudale in the last 1 month has actually jumped about 15 odd percent. Despite this kind of a move, do you still see upside in these two companies, and is it advisable to take a fresh entry?
I think Narayan Rudale, I think there is nothing wrong with the fundamentals. I think with the kind of new uh, beds which are expected to come in the next 1 year, I think the overall average revenue per bed should improve, and the management is also focusing on expanding the specialty care into other verticals as well. So I think at these levels, I would my advice would be to wait for some dips to enter into Narayan Rudale from a 1 year perspective. As far as Natco Pharma is concerned, I think the earnings were not up to the mark. I think there were pressure on the earnings with the kind of APIs which the company is into. I think the earnings were a little on this softer side, and the stock got punished as well.
Yeah.
So my sense is for Natco Pharma, I think it would be better to have some earnings visibility. So I would advise to wait for Natco Pharma. So Narayan Rudale, buy on dips, Natco uh, to hold basically, not to buy at these levels.
Got it. Let's take another one. This one is from Gul, and she writes in that I have two stocks. One is Wipro from the IT space again, 50 shares purchased at 295, and the second one is from the hospitality space, Indian Hotels, purchased at 735. Now she wants to ask for some help as far as where exactly should she average these two stocks. She has a long term horizon and she wants to build on more quantities here. Would you suggest that at the current levels, Wipro as well as Indian Hotels?
As far as Indian hotels is concerned, I think it's a typical example of the huge consumer discretionary spend which we have seen in the last 3 to 4 years post COVID. I think in the overall hospitality sector, there is still a demand and supply gap, and all these players in that segment are benefiting from this trend. As far as Indian hotels is concerned, I think there are two positive triggers in this stock. One is the number of new rooms which would get added in the next 1 to 2 years, especially in the all the tourism spots in India. So I think that would benefit the company. Secondly, the company is also moving slowly and steadily towards an asset light kind of a model, wherein it is more focusing into management contracts. So I
Okay.
think the margin profile would also improve as and when we move more towards that structure. So I think Indian hotels looks fantastic from a 1 year perspective. As far as Wipro is concerned, I think there has been some overhang on the stock, especially on the execution of the deals. But my sense is that we are seeing some green shoots of recovery in the overall spending, especially on the client side. So
Okay.
I think Wipro, again, from a 1 year perspective at these levels, I think looks good to me.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has answered your question. Satyan writes in from Kerala and he asks, is it best to shift from loss-making stocks in my portfolio, Aarti Industries and ACI Chemicals, and switch to a stock like Indus Towers, which is still doing much better in this extreme volatility? And what would you advise? So, from the chemicals, fertilizers, specialty chemical space, he wants to switch to a telecom space. Aarti Industries, ACI Chemicals is where he's making losses. We do not know the exact levels that he purchased it in. But in case he wants to make a switch to Indus Towers, would you suggest, or any other alternative?
I think as far as the two stocks are concerned, yes, the chemicals, the overall chemical space has been under some pain in the last 5 to 6 quarters.
Yeah.
But I think most of the global destocking in the overall chemical space is behind us. And we are also seeing some bottoming out in the chemical prices also. So I think amongst the two, I think Aarti Industries, my suggestion would be to continue hold Aarti Industries. As far as Archean Chemical is concerned, yes, you can move that money into Indus Towers because I think the overall the overhang on Indus Towers, which was the kind of receivables which it had from the major telecom companies, especially from Vodafone Idea, I think some part of that receivables is coming in and the balance sheet is also improving. So I think the earnings trajectory for Indus Towers, again from a 1 year perspective, looks promising. So my suggestion would be to hold Aarti Industries and move from Archean Chemical to Indus Towers.
Okay, I hope this has also answered your question well, Satyan. Please do adhere to the advice that's been shared for you. Next, let's take. This is an interesting question. Shiv writes in from Jodhpur. Hi, Shiv. Good afternoon to you. He says, I've just started investing a month back, but I'm unable to decide where exactly to invest. Is this a time for a beginner like me, or should I stay away from the market? Shiv, if you are an absolute beginner, we usually suggest investors to go ahead and look at mutual funds as their first step of looking at investments. Why do we say that? Because there's a fund manager, an expert who manages your money in the best way possible, and he selects the stocks in this fund for you and a scheme for you, and therefore you are likely to make better returns in the initial part of your investment journey. And that's something that you should definitely do. In case you already have the mutual funds portfolio sorted, then if you're starting to nibble into the stocks, we'll ask Manisha to really help you out. For an absolute beginner, I don't think there is any time right or wrong. The moment you start, I think it's a good time because you already are starting and the markets are a long-term journey. We always advise our viewers to have an absolute long-term vision when you are investing into the markets, and it has been proven as one of the best assets to invest in as well over a long-term story when you talk about wealth generation. Any suggestion for a first-time investor in the stock markets who's just started off in this volatile period, how to go about selecting certain stocks and where to invest?
I think yes, you have rightly said that if someone is investing for the first time, I think mutual fund is the best way to start with. After that, my belief is that passive investing through ETFs for a newbie is the right way to start with, so that he gets acquainted with the ups and downs,
Yeah.
wherein the ups and downs would not be wide. So I think he would be more comfortable with the kind of passive investing. Once he has confidence about the ups and downs in the market, I think he should slowly start investing into the blue chip stocks, majorly focusing on the Nifty 50 stocks at the first instance. Currently, I feel the private banking space, the larger private banking space, is one of the most valuation wise the most comfortable space to be in. So I think if he wants to invest, first is he should start by buying Nifty Bs or Bank Nifty Bs, which would be a passive kind of an investing.
Okay.
Thereafter, he can start with investing some amount of money into banks like Axis, ICICI, wherein the
Okay.
valuation looks comfortable and he can be in that stock from a longer term perspective as well.
Okay, I hope this has really helped you out, Shiv. So stay glued on to Business Today television. We'll be speaking to various experts through the course of the day and the days to follow to really guide you better. So definitely you need an expert advice if you're starting out. Manish has definitely suggested to you certain ways of getting started, Nifty Bs, Nifty Bank Bs, and of course select large cap private sector banks that where so there is an offer, there is an opportunity to invest at the right value at this point in time. Risk reward looks definitely much better. Those are the pockets that you could definitely look at. We have a caller with us now. Momita has dialed in from Kolkata, so let's go across to Momita. Hi Momita, how are you?
Hi, Sakshi. I'm good. Hope you're doing well.
Very well, thank you so much Momita for asking. Tell me, how do we help you today?
Sakshi, I wanted to check, the perspective on Dhani services.
Okay.
I hold the share from an average price of 57, but I'd actually purchased it for a short-term period. But the price tanked from, it rose and then it tanked. So I just wanted to know if for the next 3 months, how does this stock look?
Okay, for the next 3 months perspective, it's a short-term view that you have on Dhani Services. Right now at 63, but it went up and it has further come down. So should you continue to hold on or not, or what exactly should be the strategy? Manishji, could you help Momita here?
Yes, I think Dhani services, I think, is a typical play on the Indian financialization of savings, wherein it offers various instruments for the overall capital markets. But again, my sense is that the overall broking industry has seen some pain in the last 2 3 months, especially with the kind of FNO volumes which
Yeah.
have come down due to these SEBI regulations kicking in. So my sense is that there are better opportunities in the broking space rather than Dhani services. So my suggestion would be to move out of Dhani services and
Okay.
move into something, a stock like Angel One, wherein the overall tailwinds to the business are multiple, be it broking, be it mutual fund, the recently added, be it wealth management. So I think Angel One at around 2200 levels looks excellent to me from a 1 year perspective.
Momita, this has really helped you out in taking a good understanding as to how should you be proceeding on your position currently and the stocks that you could look at. Next, we have Satya writing in. Satya says, good afternoon. Could you please find out if I should continue holding on to my loss-making position on Emphasis? I'm sitting on a 17% loss. The other one is Indoco Remedies, where I'm sitting on a 20% loss. Should I switch to Cyient for a faster recovery? Okay, Satya, we'll take your question. Emphasis from the IT pack, Indoco Remedies as well, on a 20% loss. Between these two, do you still feel that one should continue to hold on to their position? Are there any signs of recovery, or switching to a better stock like Cyient that our viewer is himself suggesting is better?
I think there is nothing wrong in holding emphasis. I think the overall mid cap kind of IT space looks good to me. So it's just the pain in the overall IT space due to the US tariff uncertainty. I
Okay.
think earnings trajectory still looks intact to me. So I think there is nothing wrong with the counter like emphasis, and the viewer can continue holding it. As far as Indovor remedies is concerned, my sense is that it is better to move out of Indoco remedies and move into something wherein the valuation is comfortable. I think the first which comes to my mind is Dr. Reddy's and Cipla. I think these two large cap stocks looks very good to me at the current levels. So move out of Indigo remedies into Dr. Reddy's and Cipla, I feel.
Okay, I hope this has also solved your query there. Or, in case you still need some clarification, you can definitely write in, Satya. Next, we have a question coming in from. Okay, we have this question coming in from Anuj Singh, and Anuj Singh says, "Good afternoon, Sakshi. Good afternoon to you as well, Anuj." He says, "Dixon Technology का शेयर क्या करंट रेट पर लेना ठीक रहेगा लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए, इस पर आपका क्या व्यू है?" डेफिनेटली अनुज, आपको हम एक्सपर्ट की राय दिलवाएंगे। डिक्सन टेक्नोलॉजीज एक ऐसा शेयर है जिसने ईएमएस स्पेस में काफ़ी बढ़िया रिटर्न्स कमा कर दिए इन्वेस्टर्स को पिछले 1-1.5 साल के अंदर हम देखें, लेकिन पिछले कुछ महीनों से जब से एक कंसोलिडेशन चालू हुआ है, ये इन दोनों ही स्पेसेस में भी काफ़ी एक कंसोलिडेटिव मूव नज़र आ रहा है। सवाल ये है कि क्या इतने बड़े रनअप के बाद भी 14,000 के लेवल्स पर क्या जस्टिफिकेशन है कि डिक्सन टेक्नोलॉजीज जैसे शेयर को खरीदा जाए। तो एक ईएमएस प्ले जो है स्ट्रॉन्ग है। हम देख सकते हैं कि एक ये फ्यूचरिस्टिक टेक्नोलॉजीज़ में कामकाज करती हैं कंपनियां, और इसी वजह से कंपनियों को ऑर्डर्स भी मिले, बड़े बड़े कंपनियों ने परफॉर्म भी किया है, स्टॉक प्राइस ने भी परफॉर्म किया है। लेकिन एक वैल्यूएशन के हिसाब से भी देखा जाए तो क्या आपको लगता है 14,150 के लेवल पर अभी भी खरीदारी बनती है इस स्टॉक पर, मनीष जी?
I think if I just talk about purely on the valuation front, I think Dixon Technologies has corrected from around 19,000 levels to around 14,000 now. Still,
जी।
the valuation looks very expensive to me. I feel that from here on, though the total addressable market in the EMS space is huge, but I think most of the positives of that are already priced in this stock. From here on, execution of the order book which the company has would be a key thing. Any slight misses on that front could again weigh heavily on the stock. So my suggestion is purely on a valuation per se, I'm not comfortable entering Dixon at current levels.
Okay, okay, fair point. Understood. Not comfortable at the current levels. We'll take another question. This one is from Raghav. He says, "Hi Sakshi, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you as well, Raghav. Good to have you with us." So his question is an interesting one. He wants to know on Power Grid InvIT. And whether he should be actually holding on to this one. I think he got an entry onto this stock at around 111 odd levels. Any suggestion here on Power Grid InvITs? Do you track it at all, Manish ji?
No, Sakshi, I'm not tracking this stock, but yes, most of the investors into an InvIT are from a stable kind of an income perspective wherein they get regular payouts in form of dividends. So I think Power Grid InvIT is a play on of that kind of a sort. Overall, I think the infra space, the power space looks. I think most of the positives looks priced in.
Yes.
So I think from here on, I would be on the sidelines, especially waiting for the earnings trajectory to be sustainable rather than growing. I think if they are able to sustain the recent earnings also, I
Yeah.
think then we should see some traction in those stocks.
Fair point. Let's look at some other questions that are coming in. One or two questions we'll take more with you. This question is coming in from Sahil from Bengaluru. He says, I'm holding 50 shares of CDSL at the rate of 1350. I want a fundamental view. Is it a good time to average or should I wait for some more time? Again, a wealth creating stock, one of the poster boys of the capital market stories. But in the recent consolidation, that's also cooled off a bit. Do you think it's a good time to take a fresh perspective and a fresh entry here?
Yes, I feel that CDSL at around 1200 levels, which has corrected from almost 1900 levels odd. So I think at these levels, it looks uh, prudent to me to enter this stock again from a longer term perspective, not from a short to mid term kind of perspective. My sense is that the overall financial financialization story is just starting in India. The penetration of capital market, the penetration of investing, the penetration of mutual funds is still at a very nascent stage in India. We have a
Okay.
huge uh, total addressable market for that. So I think patient investors can enter this stock at around 1200. I think the ROEs, ROCs are very good for this stock. The valuation has also pulled off from the higher levels. So I think from a longer term perspective, it's a buy for me.
It's a buy. CDSL can be definitely looked at around 1200 odd levels for the absolute long term. Patient investors can definitely look at it. It's a story which is going to be strong as well. Manish, we'll thank you on that note for being with us on the Daily Calls edition for Tuesday and helping all our viewers with all their queries. I'm sure that all of our viewers would have really greatly helped, with your own insights and the kind of experience that you have had to share with the, expectations on the markets as well as on key stocks that they asked. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Sakshi.
Well, viewers, we will now get into the second segment of our show today. And in the second segment, we are going to be having another guest who will be answering all your questions now. Kiran Jani, the head of technical research at Jainam Broking, is now joining in. Hi Kiran, how are you? Tell us what are you really making sense of the kind of volatility and the downtrend that we are seeing in the markets? Is this slight recovery today something to be cheered about, or is it nothing in comparison to what we may hope as a sharp recovery to really come into the markets?
Good afternoon, everyone. So definitely, it is something like "Dubte ko tinka ka sahara." So we have to cheer about this recovery. With that, we have seen last week mid cap, small cap has given a very fantastic rally. However, today or yesterday also we have seen they have tested their previous week low. But now looking at yesterday move on Nifty and Bank Nifty looks very much promising. It has given a doji candlesticks pattern at bottom with bullish divergence, and the way it's behaving and sustaining above 48,600, 48,500, we can expect some sharp rally over there. With that, we can also see some rollovers is not happening good. So there are chances that short rollovers is not getting done by the traders. So we can expect some short covering rally also. With this truncated week, we have to see today's market closing. If today Nifty is closing about 22,600, then we can expect some good expiry on Thursday on Nifty. So we are giving conditional buy. If market going above 22,600, then we can expect the expiry towards 23,000. And for Bank Nifty, if market keeps sustaining above 48,800, then expiry again we can expect somewhere around 49,200 to 49,300. So we are in accumulation zone. If any as a trader, any would want to buy, they can go long about 22,600. As an investor, you can buy here at current market price. Keep a strict stop loss of 22,400. And by March expiry, we can expect price target of 23,500 to 23,800. So we shared two view for February expiry. If market cross 22,600, February expiry would be somewhere around 23,000. And for long term, for March expiry, one can go long at current market price with a stop loss of 22,400, and we can expect price target of 23,500 to 800.
Fair point. Okay, Kiran. So that's as far as the outlook on the expiry for the Nifty and the Nifty Bank is concerned. Remember, tomorrow is a holiday and we open on the expiry session on Thursday then. And it's a truncated week and the last week as far as February series is concerned. We'll start taking some questions coming in for you then, Kiran. Ranjit writes in first for you from Delhi. He says, I have 300 shares of Kalyan Jewelers at the price of 452. Should I sell now or should I continue to hold this stock? Any view here? Kalyan Jewelers has had a very volatile recent past as well after having run up quite a bit. Right now, of course, gold prices are continuing to inch higher. Within the gems and jewelry space, any suggestion on Kalyan Jewelers?
So looking at Kalyan Jewellers daily price chart, as you mentioned, it is being a very volatile since long time. We have seen prices towards 780, 790, which was its all-time high, and from there, in a couple of 10 days or 15 days matter, we have seen prices to test 420, 430 level, and from there again, it has given a very good jump towards 200 days moving average, where we have seen prices tested 590 level, and from that level again, it is testing lower level. So overall, price chart is into the sideways zone. However, price is trading below 200 days moving average, which is little bit cautious. So you can hold this particular stock with the strict stop loss of 450. If price is going below 450, then one can be cautious. If price is holding 450 level, then the initial price target is 600. And if 600 cross down, then we can expect far better rally on Kalyan. So as of now, for the 600 target, you keep holding with a stop loss of 450.
Fair point. I hope this has helped you understand what exactly should your strategy be. We have a caller with us. Kalpesh Patel is joining in from Mumbai on the phone line. Namaskar Kalpesh ji, कैसे हैं आप?
मैं एकदम बढ़िया हूँ। आप कैसे हो? और कल महाशिवरात्रि है, तो
जी
ये और परसों कल छुट्टी है, तो ऐसा
जी
लग रहा है जिस हिसाब से निफ्टी आईटी सेक्टर जो टूट रहा है, तो उस हिसाब से मैंने टाटा एलेक्सी का फ्यूचर शॉर्ट सेल किया हुआ एग्रेस 5,800 में। ये 5200 आ सकता है, क्योंकि हो सकता है कल छुट्टी के दिन ट्रम्प कुछ महा भोलेनाथ का प्रसाद खा के कुछ ट्वीट कर दे आईटी सेक्टर पे, तो क्या फॉल आ सकता है क्या बढ़ा? और निफ्टी 22,300 आ सकता है थर्सडे तक।
ओके देखिए किरण जी ऑलरेडी स्माइल कर रहे हैं आपकी आवाज़ सुनकर और आपका सवाल सुनकर। दिलचस्प सवाल होते हैं आपके हमेशा। आज भी आपने पहले तो आपको महाशिवरात्रि की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, उसके बारे में आपने जिक्र किया। और पहला तो निफ्टी पर पूछ रहे हैं 22,300 आ सकता है यानी थर्सडे को एक्सपायरी सेशन के दिन। दूसरा इन्होंने टाटा एलेक्सी शॉर्ट सेल किया है 5800 का। मानते हैं कि 5200 तक के अगर लेवल्स आ जाएं तो इनकी चांदी हो जाएगी। बताइए किरण जी।
सो यस, महाशिवरात्रि की जितने भी दर्शक देख रहे हैं उन सभी को हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। अब जैसे उन्होंने बोला कि छुट्टी के दिन जनरली हमने देखा है कि जब इंडियन मार्केट मतलब नॉर्मल वीकडेज होते हैं और इंडियन मार्केट में छुट्टी होती है, तो जनरली इंटरनेशनल न्यूज से कोई भी क्यूज आते हैं तो उसका एक हैवी वेटेज रहता है। एंड जिस तरह से अभी क्यूज चल रहे हैं, टैरिफ वॉर की बातें चल रही है, तो काफी लोग बेरिशनेस ही एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि इस प्रकार के टाइम पे डेफिनेटली कोई नेगेटिव न्यूज आती है तो एक बड़ा गैप डाउन हमें देखने को मिले। तो अब जिस तरह से अभी चार्ट पैटर्न हम देख रहे हैं, कहीं ना कहीं ओवरऑल पैटर्न के हिसाब से तो वीकनेस डेफिनेटली लग रही है हमें। और दूसरी तरफ अगर आप देखोगे लेवल वाइज अगर हम बात करें, तो जो एक इंपॉर्टेंट लेवल था टाटा एलेक्सी का 5800, वो उन्होंने ब्रेक कर दिया है। अब जब तक वो 5800 के नीचे है तब तक आप एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो टाटा एलेक्सी आपने जो टारगेट बताया 5300 को टेस्ट कर सकते हैं। तो डेफिनेटली आप होल्ड रखिए इसको 5900 के स्टॉप लॉस के साथ। निफ्टी की मैं बात करूं तो निफ्टी में आप आज के क्लोजिंग का ध्यान दीजिए। अगर आज का क्लोजिंग 22,600 के ऊपर आता है, देन देयर आर वेरी रेयर चांसेस कि हम यहाँ पे कोई भी गिरावट देख सकते हैं। तो एज ऑफ नाउ मेरे हिसाब से आपकी जो टाटा एलेक्सी में शॉर्ट पोजीशन है वो कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं विद स्टॉप लॉस ऑफ 59। निफ्टी के अंदर थोड़ा वेटिंग।
ओके उम्मीद करते हैं करपेश जी आपको यहाँ पर अपनी राय मिल गई होगी। नेक्स्ट विल टेक अ क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम आवर यूट्यूब व्यूअर्स। विनोद चौधरी राइट्स इन says, hi Sakshi, how are you? Thanks for doing this for retail investors. Thank you Vinod for writing in such appreciative words. We'll take your question. Your question is on LIC Housing Finance. You have 50 shares of this stock at the rate of 550 and you want to know whether it's a good stock to hold and should you average at the current levels. LIC Housing Finance currently at 528, he's bought at 550. So can he average on the lower end at this point in time, or do you think the structure is weak at this point in time, Kiran?
So looking at housing finance, definitely the structure is very weak. And coming to the LIC housing, the stock price is trading below its 200 days moving average, trading into the falling channel also. So it is better don't average as of now. Whatever you are holding, you can keep holding. Reason being, the day election result came, that day also we have seen a furious level of low somewhere around 540, and now stock price is trading below 540 level. So unless and until prices is not sustaining above 540 level, you should not try to buy this particular stock or average out. And whatever you are holding this, you can hold with the strict stop loss of 500, because if 500 broken down, then you can expect further fall also. So you hold this particular stock with the 500 stop loss.
Okay, fair point. We'll take the next question. This is from Shuyan. He's from Bengaluru. He says, I have 110 shares of Tata Motors and have an average price of 600. I need a 6 months view. Well, good part is that you've actually bought it at a lower end rather than a very high end that most of the investors are stuck. Right now, the stock is at 663 odd levels. Next 6 months, do you see an upside, substantial upside from the current levels, Kiran?
So looking at Tata Motors, definitely they have bought it at very lower level, so that is congratulations. But looking at current market price chart, we are not seeing any such kind of a bottom which is placed. So yes, definitely if they want to give a time, they can hold this particular stock. We have seen already two-wheeler sector, two-wheeler stock has started giving breakout at this current price, or they have started forming a bottom also. But four-wheeler, we can see there are some pain is still left. So you can hold this particular stock. The setup is very good. Extreme oversold territory. Tata Motor is trading. So as of now, you can hold this particular stock with a strict stop loss of somewhere around 640. If 640 is taken out, then there are chances we can see some fall should continue. So as of now, you can hold with a strict stop loss of 650.
Okay, understood. Let's take the next question. This is Rehan from Karnataka. On another Tata Group stock is his question on. He says, I want to buy TCS for 1 year. At what price should I take a fresh entry? Okay, Rehan will get you an understanding on TCS. Of course, IT stocks have recently been under pressure, Kiran. We have not really been seen the kind of leadership that they should be showing. There has been an overhang of what the US policies are, and of course on the earnings there has been some kind of a muted reaction as well. What's your own suggestion on TCS for a 1 year view?
So if they want to buy for a 1 year, still if you look at the Nifty IT chart, I first of all would like to comment on Nifty IT chart. Nifty IT chart has broken down its 200 days moving average number one. It has a very strong support of 40,000 that is also been taken out. Now at current market price, you can see prices is trading at lower level. But the good part is that the prices has a very good support of 38,700, 38,500. With that, the momentum indicator is also into the oversold territory. So there are chances of bounce, and prices have given a very much correction. So price-wise correction has been done as far as our understanding, and now time-wise correction should be start. But you are okay to give a 1 year, so it is very good level to accumulate at current market price. Definitely at TCS, so you can go long TCS in a range of 36,020 to 36,000, and
Okay.
keep us below 3550 for a year kind of a target horizon, and we can expect price target of 4,000.
Okay, fair point. We have a couple of more questions, so we'll take those also with you, Kiran. First up, it's Satya writing in, says that I want to understand from the technical expert an entry level for Indus Towers. If you look at the charts right now, do you think there is a case for a fresh entry in Indus Towers right now, Kiran?
So looking at Indus Tower price chart, the stock price is looks very much promising. Recently, we have seen stock price was forming out double bottom pattern also. It has also a resistance of its 200 days moving average, and from that level, which is 370, stock price is just came down at 330 level. So as of now, it has a very good support of 310, 320. If stock prices keep holding that particular level, then we can expect some upswing also. So at current market price, you can hold this particular stock. But the viewers who are watching us, they can also go long on Indus Tower at current market price and keep a very strict stop loss of 310.
Okay, right. We'll take another question. This is from our YouTube viewer Aman S. Aneja. He says, Hi Sakshi. Hi Aman, how are you doing? Aman says, I need a view on Ease My Trip. Okay, this again stock has been kind of battered in the recent past. He has 1600 shares at the rate of 14.3 on Ease My Trip planners. What is the suggestion that you have? The stock is currently holding at 12.5. Today there is some strong volume and action, about 4% higher the stock is trading at. Do you see this reversal to continue? What should one do with somebody who's purchased at over 14 odd levels?
So as of now, if you look at the ESMI chart pattern, is clearly showing that it is trading into the falling channel only. Also,
Yeah.
it is below 20 days moving average. But the good part again is that that we are approaching to the summer, and generally in summer vacation, the travel theme again going to work out. With that, we can also see some positive divergence on RSI. So as of now, if you are you already bought the stock at 14 level and stock price is trading at 12. And recently it has formed multiple hammer candlesticks pattern at lower level. So you can keep a strict stop loss below 11 rupees. No doubt, if you look at into the price, stop losses looks very nominal, but in percentage stop loss is very weak. So keep consult your financial consultant. So as of now, you can keep a strict stop loss of 11, and you can hold this particular stock. As soon as the stock price is crossing 1450 level, then after you can expect price target of 20 rupees. So as of now, hold this particular stock with the 11 rupees stop loss and aim for 1450. Once 1450 cross out, you can expect 20 rupees as a target.
Okay, fair point. Another question coming in is from Lucknow, from Arjun. He says, I have made heavy losses in Nazara Tech. My holding is now 50% down on this stock. I have been keeping this in my portfolio, hoping that this could revive in the next 1 year to come. Should I continue holding on, or is it better for me to switch? Okay, Arjun, clearly, you know, this has been a pain point for you in your portfolio. You've been holding on despite a 50% cut onto this stock. Let's find out whether it actually makes sense for you to continue to hold on with the hope that the stock will revive, or is it a better strategy that you actually shift out of any stock which has been giving you so much pain, but in fact look at a stock that could get you a better recovery, so that you recover your losses and probably make even more profits, you know, sooner than later. Kiranji, Nazara Tech, what's your suggestion?
Right. So if you check the Nazara Tech price chart, the as you mentioned that the investor has lost almost 50%. The reason
Yeah.
being they have bought somewhere around 12 to 1300 level, and from those levels, stock price tested the 500 level. But now at current market price, a big investor has already taken a stake in this particular, and the news is already out over there. And this is a very old news, however. Now, if you look at the gaming stock, only Nazara Technology and Delta Corp is there. Delta Corp is trading, and there are so many corporate issues with that company. So only Nazara Technology is left out, and we believe that in the upcoming time, online gaming and online gaming platform should get more valuations also. So fundamental tailwinds is already there in Nazara Technology. If you look at the daily price chart, it has formed ascending triangle pattern. Stock price is trading above its 200 is moving average. So we are suggesting not only hold, but you can definitely buy at current market price also. And the viewers who are watching right now, they can also buy Nazara Technology at current market price. Keep a very strict stop loss of 900. Risk reward ratio is very good. If 900 is not taken out, then we can expect price target of 1200 to 1300 for short time. So Nazara Technology looks very good. Definitely you can hold, and one can go long also.
Okay, I hope really this has helped you out. We'll take just a last one question on the show, and that is from Srinath from Bengaluru, who says, I have 1000 shares of Prism Johnson. My query is it possible for Prism Johnson to cross 250 in the near term or in the next 1 or 2 months? What would your suggestion be? I think this stock also just got into momentum when the entire cement buzz was on the prime, but then again this space has been under pressure. Any suggestion on Prism Johnson right now?
So looking at Prisms on some chart price, the stock price was look very much promising, but clearly at current market price, it is not look very much promising. However, looking at its weekly and monthly chart, Prism Johnson has a very good support of 120. So it is better you hold this particular stock. I know that you are facing losses, but as of now, the stock price is at its important level. So Prism Johnson you can hold with a strict stop loss of 112. If 112 is holding, then you can expect price target of 135, 140. And once the price is crossing 140, you can again revisit and make your stop loss trade.
Okay, fair point. Well, I hope this has also helped you out in understanding what your strategy should be. In the end, Kiran, any key stocks that you may have identified in the current dips in the market, where are you finding pockets of value that you could suggest our viewers?
So basically, I will take little longer time to answer this question.
Sure.
Let's say, for example, we are not expecting a quick revival because we are already into the bear market because market has
Yeah.
corrected below 20%. So it is on price wise, it is below 20%. With the time, it has already passed last 5 months into this bear market. So don't expect over and above overnight recovery. Now coming to the large cap, mid cap, and small cap. From COVID time to all time high time, we have seen that small cap and mid cap has given a rally towards 250 to 80% kind of a return, where where large cap has only given a 100%, 120% kind of a recovery. Now, from all time high to till now, your large cap from 120 to 100%, but your mid cap and small cap from 280 to 50% to 180. So that the divergence has been narrowed down. This divergence again going to be narrowed down. So we are not expecting further correction into the mid cap and small cap, but we are expecting fast recovery into the large cap stock. So our pick would be on large cap side only. You can see Reliance, it is trading somewhere around 1200. You can keep a strict stop loss below 1200 and you can go long. You can look at Kotak Mahindra Bank, you can look at HDFC Bank, you can also look at SBI. On IT side, we just discussed TCS. You can also look for the Wipro. So this large cap, we looks very much promising at current market price, and one can go long on large cap for sure.
Okay, got that. Well, we will thank you then, Kiran, for being with us on this show then today. And I hope all our viewers who've been with us have actually got, guidance as to how should they move forward with the positions in the current difficult sort of a market that we are in case you still have some questions that are pending to get answered, you can keep on sending those questions to us. Tomorrow is a holiday, but day after we will get back again with another edition of Daily Calls and more experts joining in to help you out with strategies on your stock portfolio. So stay tuned. There's a lot more to really look at in terms of market coverage throughout the course of the day today.
First of all, it is a very good feeling to come to, always a good feeling to come to Kashi, but particularly during the Kashi Tamil Sangama. I had come last year also, and